Hello and welcome to another Uyghur Tech. This is episode 6, and I'm excited you guys made it back. Excited to be back. I was sick last week, had a cold, and so I didn't do a live stream, didn't even do a podcast. So I'm glad to be back, though, and glad to bring you guys some news, some picks of the week, and a tip of the week. So let's go ahead and get started with the news. And the first thing I want to talk about, a little close to my heart just because I am in law school, is that Candy Crush King, actually, the owners of Candy Crush, you guys all know that iPhone game, they have actually applied, and I believe, I'm not sure on the status, I tried to check on the status for you guys, and I actually think it was passed, but they applied to have the word candy patented, and I believe that they did get it. I know in the UK they have something like that too. They have already done this in other areas, but they applied to have it patented, the word candy, and that just shocks me that you can patent the word candy. Apparently, they have already gone after certain apps on the App Store in the iOS ecosystem and told them that they need to get the word candy out of their title. This is just shocking to me. I just can't believe that you could actually patent such a simple word. I use the word candy all the time, whether, hey, go into the store and grab me a candy bar or go grab me some candy. You know, I just don't want to have to worry about me saying the word candy. It's just that sort of stuff. And this is just the type of stuff that I think is just ridiculous and needs to be changed with the whole patent system. We find people that are, you know, you see Apple and Samsung going over all these patent wars and stuff like that. And they're just fighting over stuff like, you know, swiping to unlock your phone or things that just seem natural to you, I don't think should be patented. In the same sense, I don't think the word candy should be able to be patented either. But like I said, and I'm definitely not coming at, you know, I'm not talking to you about this as a lawyer because I am not. And I'm a mere 1L. I'm a mere new, you know, law student who's just trying to start thinking about this stuff. So don't take any of this as if I'm talking to you as a lawyer, because I'm not. I don't know anything about patents yet, have not taken any classes on them. I've just, coming from my personal experience, I don't think that those type of things should be patented. But yeah, so they have applied. I believe they've been already approved, and I don't know if they're registered yet, but I believe it has been approved. And so watch out if you're using the word candy in any of your titles or in any of your content, because King, the makers of Candy Crush, could be coming after you. All right, the next thing I want to talk about. Last week, Gmail went down for a while. I believe it was about an hour, and people, of course, started to freak out because, you know, who wouldn't? A Google product actually went down for a little bit. Shocking, I know. But users were a little upset that they were down. Google did apologize for it. Yahoo took the opportunity to put a little zing in there. They tweeted out, you know, that Google Gmail is down and all that sort of stuff. Later, they came out and apologized, saying they're sorry. They didn't mean to tweet about that, which I thought it was fine. Go ahead and tweet at them. Yahoo, yes, you have a mail service, but the way I see Yahoo's are a news service. So if they're just tweeting out that Gmail is down, they're letting users know that it's down and there's nothing to worry about, you know, or something like that. So I didn't see any problem with that tweet from Yahoo, but I did notice that the service went down. I was actually using it and was not able to access my account for about an hour. After about 10 minutes, I stopped, figuring something was wrong on my end. Later, I found out that it was actually on Google's end. So who knew? I was on my phone, and just the reception area, I'm just used to not being able to access anything on data with my cell phone nowadays. I don't know about you guys, but my service where I live is just awful. Unless I'm on Wi-Fi, I'm not using my phone for any sort of data. So, but yeah, that was the Gmail blackout, but it was all corrected. It's all good. It's all fixed. No security breaches or anything like that. Just the service went down. So the next thing is that there is a scam out there going around. Go ahead, everyone, whip out your online banking or your last statement and check for a $9.84 charge that you don't recognize. Apparently, there's a large scam going around with people charging $9.84 to stolen credit card numbers. So if they've taken your credit card number, it's a common, now not to say that all the charges are going to be $9.84, but that's by far the most common. This story was coming in from CNN Money, and I found out that basically what they've done is they've stolen these numbers and they're using other websites that look legitimate, you know, customer fulfillment websites or customer service websites with phone numbers that for all these different charges, the way they kind of found out that they're all sort of linked is that the phone numbers are very similar except for the last few digits. So they've been able to connect the dots between all these different scams, but go back and check because I know, at least for me, I don't think much if I see a $9 charge. Anything less than, $10, I figure I probably use my card somewhere and I didn't remember. I buy a lot of food at different places. I'm always, stopping at different little gas stations. And now even the vending machines take your money, and the names on those things are all weird. So I never even look really at the name. And if it's under $10, sometimes I don't think about it. But definitely go and check your statements, because $9.84, if that shows up, it could be a scam. Also, just check for any other sort of amount. Don't just be checking for $9.84. If you see anything suspicious, report it. Usually you're not liable anyway. Usually you have zero liability, which is nice. So your bank will usually reimburse you for that. All right, and then the last thing I want to talk about, I am just so impressed with Netflix lately. Netflix their stock has been soaring. And so I want to talk about their fourth quarter. They had 2.3 million new American subscribers last quarter, which that's just amazing. It's one of those services now that you're starting to see is just going to be in every single home. And for a private company to have a service that literally is in every single home is just, that's amazing. And so they're definitely showing it in their stock prices. Today, they were up 6.7% just today. Their stock is up to $406.77 the last time I checked, which is just outstanding. They had $1.2 billion last quarter in revenue, beating out Q3 for them, which was at a $1.1 billion. And so you just see Netflix taking off, and I think that they're even going to be getting bigger and bigger as they start to produce their own shows. I think I talked about this in a previous episode, but when you have shows like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black, and they're bringing back shows like Arrested Development, they're starting to become a production company and not just a company that allows us to stream movies. And I think they're just going to be getting bigger and bigger, and I don't mind it. I like seeing a company that can go out there and, first of all, I like seeing companies that take on the cable providers. And then I also like to see companies that can bring you a good service and then make it better by creating their own content. And I think that's a really good thing. So I think they deserve this high-end valuation on their stock. Usually sometimes the tech companies, I don't like to talk about stock too much, but sometimes I think they're a little overvalued. But I think Netflix is one of those that now especially now that they're starting to create their own content. But just the fact that it's one of those services that I don't think I have a single friend, I don't think I've met many people that I ask them, hey, do you have Netflix? And they say no. Or if I'm talking about a show and like, oh, is that on Netflix? Can I watch it on Netflix? I guarantee that's the first question. When someone tells me about a movie I should watch, like, hey, go watch movie X. And I'm just like, oh, is that on Netflix? It's my first question because it's the easiest way to watch something. I already have the service. And it's cheap. Relatively cheap. $9 a month is definitely something that everyone can at least consider. And so I just think it's great, but I am happy to see that they are getting the valuation they deserve, but it definitely was shocking to me. I didn't see this coming for Netflix. It was just something that in the last few years, they've just really shot up, which is great. So now it is time for...
It's the picks of the week, baby.
I don't know why I like that soundbite so much. I just do. But anyway, it's the picks of the week. This is the part of the show where I pick certain things out there that I like and I think you guys would like too. And so the first one that I want to pick is the show Sherlock. It is a BBC show, and it is just, oh man, it has captured me for about the last 2 weeks. The first 2 seasons are on Netflix. So relating to the first story, go on Netflix if you have it. And if you don't, go find a friend who has Netflix and watch it. It is an amazing show. What it is, it's a mini-series. So there are 3 episodes per season, but they are an hour and a half long. And so you're pretty much getting to watch a movie every single episode. Downside is it just goes really fast. You end up watching those 3 episodes in 3 different nights and you're done with a season. But now season 3 is airing live in the United States right now. I think over in the UK, they're beyond us. I don't know if they're into season 4 or not, or if they just already finished up season 3. But we are in season 3 here. So it's on PBS. It's on your public station. And it just coincides that, PBS just put an app on the Apple TV, which is great because now I can watch my Sherlock show because season 3 is not on Netflix because it's airing live now. And so go onto your PBS.com or go to PBS on your Apple TV or however you do it and watch it. It's on Sunday nights at, I believe, 9. I'm not sure about that. At least 9 Central Time. That's where I'm at. So, but definitely check out Sherlock. It's one of those shows and it's just engaging and it's creative and funny and you don't expect it to be funny at all. You just expect it can be serious and a mystery. And there are parts where you're almost scared. Like it actually can be like almost like a scary movie at some points. And then there's in the 10 minutes later, you'll be laughing. So it's just an emotional roller coaster almost throughout the entire show, but those are the best. They keep you watching, and it's definitely one of those shows I look forward to watching every single week, and I cannot wait to get some more Sherlock. But as of now, there's only one more show. Actually, it's coming this Sunday. So season 3, they've already had 2 episodes. So episode 3, the final episode of season 3, is airing this Sunday. So definitely check that out. And if you are not caught up, go back and watch it. Just binge watch it. It's definitely worth it. You will not regret it. My second pick of the week is a shameless plug. Yes, I'm going to pick something that I'm actually involved with. It is the Corner Chair podcast. The Corner Chair podcast is a podcast I just started with my buddy Colin, and I might have talked about this last week, but my buddy Colin and I, we just sit there and we talk about a lot of different stuff. Maybe if some of you are looking for a little bit of a lighthearted podcast and don't want as much tech talk as I do, we may have one tech news story in the show, but we just talk about our lives. This past week, we talked about some gym etiquette, and we talked about just news stories, and then we also give you a pick of the week. And it's a little fun to listen to 2 people talk. Sometimes this single show is hard for me to communicate with you guys because I don't have someone else here to communicate with. So sometimes it's a little awkward me talking to a camera. But with the Corner Chair podcast, Colin and I think we just have a lot of fun doing it. There's a lot of laughter in the show. There's some serious moments, I guess, but most of it's laughter. So go check that out. It's on my website. It's WeagerTech.com/Corner Chair Podcast. You can also find it in iTunes, as you can this show now. So if you go to iTunes, in the iTunes store, search Corner Chair Podcast, and it is there. We currently have 2 episodes out. We record every Thursday. So these shows are posted Thursday night, early Friday morning, right around there. Go check it out, see if you like it. And thank you to you who maybe have already gone and watched it, because I mentioned it on the show, because we already have a lot of subscribers, and it's great. And I have a lot of subscribers to this show. Speaking of podcasts, I already have a lot of subscribers on iTunes and just you guys who use any of your other apps, and it's great. I love it. It's just been great to see that people actually like listening to the show in podcast form. The one question I did want to answer for you guys, obviously open mic night used to be a time where I answered questions. Well, I did get a question. Someone asked, hey, I heard you mention that you do this show as a podcast. I'm watching on YouTube. What do you mean? Like, what kind of is a podcast, and what does that mean? So when I say I'm recording as a podcast, for those of you who don't know, it means that this show is being recorded in audio form. So imagine how you have a song on your iPod or a song on a CD that you can just put into a device and listen to. Essentially, that's what the podcast is I'm recording this live, so you're seeing me on video, but I'm also recording the audio. And you can go to iTunes on your computer, or you could go to a podcast app, which I mentioned one last week, and you can plug in, you can just search for Open Mic Night, and you can subscribe. Now, when you subscribe to a podcast, it'll update. Whenever I put out a new show, it'll automatically tell you, hey, there's a new show. You can have all different settings to download it, to not download it, or whatever. But pretty much all it is, it's an audio version of this show that you can download to your phone, to your iPod, to your computer, and you can listen to it anytime. So, a week from now, you can listen to this exact show, and it's just great. It's how I consume all of my media. I'm a big podcast guy. I don't have a lot of time, and I'm busy to watch shows live. So a lot of my shows are airing live on the weekends or during the week when I'm in class or working. And so I consume them as podcasts. And when I'm driving around or if I'm on a road trip or just sitting in my room, I can just catch up on all my podcasts. So that's why I put it out there for you guys in that medium. And that is what a podcast is. So I hope for the gentleman who asked that question, I hope that answers it. I hope that helps you out. Anyway, that is not my last pick of the week. I have one more, and it is called Wunderlist. Now, Wunderlist is an app for iOS and the Mac. And all it is, it's a very simple to-do list. And you can have different categories or whatever you want to call them. So pretty much I have a category for each class that I'm in school. And then each of those you can start putting little checklists in. You can type stuff in. You can add in links or documents and stuff like that. The one reason I like Wunderlist is because it syncs between all my devices just flawlessly. And it's simple to use. Once you check off you did something, it takes it away. It's just simple to use. And so I have the app on my Mac, I have the app on my phone, iPad, wherever I'm at, I'm guaranteed I'm going to have one of those devices so I can add in a to-do. And then on whatever device I end up finishing up that to-do, I can check it off there and they all sync. It just works. There's a lot of extra pro features that I have not used. I just use the free version. There's a pro version for you to use if you use it in business or if you like to collaborate with people. If maybe you're part of a team that has a to-do list, you can use it as that. I know there's a lot of those features that I don't really use, but I know they are there. So if you're looking for a great to-do list manager that syncs between all your devices, especially if you have all Mac devices, if you have a Mac computer, an iPad, or an iPhone, and you want it to all just stay in sync, try Wunderlist, Wunderlist. It is Wunderlist, and look that up in the App Store. It is free. So now it is time for the tip of the week. Oh, man. Okay, you know what? I'm going to play it anyway, even though I forgot. I added this new sound effect in, so let's pretend I just announced Wunderlist, and that is Wunderlist, and it's in the App Store.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Okay, I just wanted to play that little sound clip. I totally forgot about it. I have all these new sound clips, and I totally forget to use them, but I had to throw it in there because I like it so much. All right, and so now it is time for the tip of the week. The tip of the week is when I tell you guys about something you can do with your devices to make your life a little bit easier. This one, I got the idea from, I was helping a buddy out who was using iMessage. If you guys have an iPhone or an iPad, you have iMessage, which is pretty much just almost like a text message sent via the internet, and you use your Apple ID or your phone number on your phone. Pretty much my buddy had an iPhone, he has an iPad, and he has a Mac computer, and they were just all out of sync. He would get some messages on some, not on the other. And what this is from is that a lot of people still are on the old style. A long time ago when you had iMessage on your computer or on your iPad, you could only receive those messages by using your email address and not your phone. But now you can use your phone number on all your devices. So what I suggest is if you guys have an iPhone and you also have another device, say an iPad, or if you have a computer or all three, go in on your iPad and your iMac. And if you go to preferences in messages, you can tell it to use your actual phone number to start and receive messages. So you can say receive messages from your phone number, and then you can say start conversations with my phone number. Now, if you do that on all your devices, everything's going to sync. So when someone texts you, when you get anything in iMessage, it'll show up on all your devices. And you can just start a conversation. You can pick up a conversation on any device. So I can just literally, I can be texting on my phone, set my phone down, go to my computer, and what I just sent is already there, and I can continue the conversation there. So that is my tip of the week. And if you guys are having any trouble, it's kind of a hard conversation to have without showing you guys. If you need any help, definitely email me, mike@weakertech.com, and I will email you back and help you out with your exact situation on what iMessage is or is not syncing, what it is or is not doing. So let me know. But that is my tip of the week, that all that stuff can work. It should work for you. It should make it easy. When you get a message somewhere, you should be able to answer to other places, especially if you're in the Mac ecosystem. So that is just my tip of the week. It made my life a lot easier when I figured that out, because I was one of those people that had my email address being used on my computer and I wouldn't get my messages, and everything was... The other problem is when you have it set up that way, when you send someone a message from your computer, they receive it as coming from your email address, not from your phone number. So they might end up having two conversations with you, one with your computer and one with your phone. So that is that. That is my tip of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I hope you guys come back next week. Subscribe on iTunes, open mic night. Go to my website, weakertech.com. Got a lot of stuff there. Got a lot of videos, tutorials. I have the Corner Chair podcast, like I mentioned, and I also have this podcast. And so do that. Email me, mike@weakertech.com. Hit me up on Twitter, @mwieger, W-I-E-G-E-R. So it's @M-W-I-E-G-E-R. And also hook up with me on Google+, Instagram, whatever you guys can imagine. Hook up with me. I love hearing from you guys. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Comments, let me know. And just any other thing that you could possibly want to communicate with me about, just do it. So, hope you guys have a great week. But until I see you next time, tech on.